indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor Peterson and Councilwoman Michelle Alexander are gone this evening as they are on sister city business. Just to get going here, we have some very special guests here tonight that have been invited here. They were invited for the city of Winona to recognize their accomplishments this past football season. Coach John Casilius and the Winona Senior High School football team has really made a mark this year. What I would like to do right now is, we see you players in your uniform. We don't know who you all are. I'd just like to have just every player just stand, say your name, position, and you're in school. And let's start right here on the left here and go right across. And what year in school?
Senior.
Okay.
I'm John Gibson. I'm number 54. I'm an offensive lineman and I'm a senior.
I'm Bryce Effman, offensive line and defensive line, and I'm a junior.
Blake Anderson. I'm a senior. I'm offensive line.
Jacob Stanislavski, offensive defensive line, senior and 75.
Jake Waldo, defensive end, offensive tackle, number 77 and junior.
Bennett Halfman, offensive line and freshman.
Josh Body, number 2, wide receiver, junior.
Aaron White, 13, freshman, outside linebacker, tight end.
Dane Wilkie, number 3, wide receiver, freshman.
Sam Connie, 18, freshman, fullback.
Offensive lineman, Tommy Roberts, 71, junior.
Jacob Gunn, junior, offensive lineman.
Micaiah Kessler, senior, defensive nose tackle, 68.
It's okay.
Dylan Gordon, number 11, senior, tight end, linebacker.
Riley Bossetter, number 10, quarterback, junior.
Ben McMartin, 55, offensive defensive line, junior.
Dalton Sharmer, 58, offensive defensive line, senior.
Roy Hoganson, middle linebacker, number 15, senior.
Mason Hankey, I'm a senior, number 25, middle linebacker and fullback.
Matt Leahy, linebacker, number 33, I'm a sophomore.
Rick Thompson, number 12, wide receiver, senior.
Paul Bowden, wide receiver, junior.
Ethan Ringo, number 6, wide receiver, sophomore.
Arsenio number 8, wide receiver, junior. Alex Francois, senior, 7, running back.
Silliest ball boy, 6th grader. Carson Everett, number 88, senior, outside linebacker.
Logan Smith, number 23, defensive back, junior.
John Walter, junior, number 16, running back and linebacker.
Dakota Matthews, 32, junior, wide receiver. Caleb Gregg, number 61, offensive and defensive line, sophomore.
Mike Kluchak, number 83, wide receiver and safety, and I'm senior.
Ethan President, number 72, offense, defensive line, freshman.
Matt Reinhardt, number 82, tight end, sophomore.
Austin Leonard, defensive end, senior.
Matt Monahan, number 30, and free safety.
Jack Conway, number 37, linebacker.
Dan Parker, junior, number 60, and offensive defensive line.
Josh Gotti, number 52, offensive defensive lineman, senior.
Riley Butler, number 73, offensive defensive line, senior.
John Bowler, senior, student manager.
Cora Arnie, number 20, running back, 10th grade.
Aaron Granville, number 9, linebacker, sophomore.
Is that everyone? How about the coaching staff?
John Casilius, I guess I'm the head football coach.
all of them? All right, thank you very much. How many of you young athletes are a product of the Maury Miller Youth Football League?
Oh, wow.
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 Very good, very good. Thank you. Jacob Stanislawski, who I met before the meeting here, and I see we now call him Stano. He was quoted as saying in the newspaper, "We want to make our city proud and bring home a state championship." All I can simply say is, Stano, you and your teammates and your coaches and everyone around with the organization, you have made us more than proud. You have put us on the sports tourism map. Now, when I was putting this together last night, my wife says there is no such thing as a sports tourism map. I said there now is. And, you know, coming in there, I had a chance to go up for the championship game, which, I mean, you young folks out there, you had this community fired up. They were talking about that all week. They talked about the game after the week. And when we come into that beautiful stadium up there, you see the large jumbotron, Winona. 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 You've seen it throughout the game. You've seen it before the games. You've seen it after the games. And what a very, very proud moment for Winona, and to see 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 fans there cheering us on. So it really, really was a emotional moment and a very, very proud moment. So you have made us very, very proud, and you know, there's no other words to describe that. So thanks, guys. We have a proclamation that I'm going to read tonight. I'm going to come out there, but does anyone on council have any comments they would like to make to the coaches and the players?
No, just congratulations on a great year.
Ditto.
Okay. With that, I would have Coach Casilius come up.
Oh, one thing, and I know they've heard it, but looking at these guys in the front row, I think Mike Zimmer needs to take a look at them for next week. I don't think your season's over yet.
Good one, Jerry. Good one.
Just come right over here. We want to be able to face the crowd here, so that this is all for the players and for you. Have they set the bar?
Yes, they have.
Okay, City of Winona proclamation. The Winona Senior High School football team's last appearance in the state tournament was in 1987. And whereas the Winona Windhawks had only one win in 2014 and went on to the section finals in 2015. And whereas the Windhawks' 2016 season record was 11-2. And whereas the Windhawks had a 34-30 victory against Ricori Senior High School in the Class 4A state semifinal game. And whereas the Windhawks competed against Benilde St. Margaret's for the Class 4A state title at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. And whereas the Windhawks lost to Benilde St. Margaret by a score of 31-28. And whereas the 2016 team has 47 players, including 17 seniors, District Line of the Year and Mr. Football finalist Jacob Stanislawski, and District Defensive Player of the Year Brody Hoganson. And whereas Coach John Casilius has been named District and Section 4A Coach of the Year. Now therefore, I, Acting Mayor George Borzakowski, hereby congratulate the Winona Senior High School 2016 football team and do hereby proclaim Monday, December 5th, 2016 as Windhawk Football Day. But now we're going to carry that on to tomorrow since it's late at night. So it will be Windhawk Football Day in the city of Winona. In witness whereof, I have here unto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Winona to be affixed this 5th day of December 2016. Acting Mayor George Borzakowski, and it's attested by our city clerk, Monica Hennessy Mohan, who did all the research on getting all this information, and I thank her for that. So, Coach, congratulations.
City of Winona, thank you very much. It's an honor that I received this for all of our players and our family and obviously the Winona community and the fans that came up there. At one point during our championship game, I did turn around and look up and saw a huge sea of orange and a lot of faces and alumni and things like that, and that was great to see. These guys played so hard, played with a lot of passion, played for one another, and one thing I told them a lot is you guys had dreams to go out and get there, and you know, you fulfilled your dreams, but not only did you create that dream, but you also created a dream for all the young kids in Winona, the dream to have an opportunity to get back and do the exact same thing, get back to US Bank Stadium and have that opportunity to play again. So not only did they fulfill their dream, but they also created dreams for a lot of young kids. So I'm super honored to be able to accept this on their behalf, but even more honored to have the opportunity to coach this group of fine young men. So thank you.
Thank you. And to all the seniors out there, good luck on your future. And to all the juniors, as you just mentioned, and the sophomores, the bar is set, so we'll be looking forward to it again next year.
No pressure.
No pressure, Coach. So. All right, you can either stay for the whole meeting or you can leave. That's fine. So. Thanks for coming. Okay, yeah.
think Schomar will be the only one left. It's a year they'll never forget. I think Paul Schomar will be the only one left.
He said something I couldn't hear in sixth grade.
You said just the captains were coming.
Obviously, I was wrong.
Mr. Borchakowski, excellent job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's good.
Paul's here, that's it.
Paul's here, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you unexpected surprise.
Well, yeah, I should have said, yeah, so, okay, all right.
Should have had us stay, they could have learned something.
Okay, we will continue on. Just was simply like to pass tonight that acknowledge the passing of former Third Ward Council member Paul Rexted. Paul, who served in the city council in the 70s and early 80s, and he definitely made a difference in our city in that era of time he was with, so. Okay, Mr. Manager, what do you have?
I have nothing, Your Honor.
Okay. Monica, roll call.
Mayor Peterson. Councilman Thurley.
Here.
Craig.
Here.
Alexander. Iden. Here. Worzakowski.
Here.
Double.
Here.
Under the petitions, requests, and communications, item 3.1 is the St. Matthew's Church request for handicap parking on High Street and Wabasha Street.
I'd move to introduce the attached ordinance.
Moved by Al.
Second.
Seconded by Pam, and a second over Paul. So, any discussion? Hearing none, call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Carried.
Item 3.2 is a request to transfer liquor licenses for Katie's Place. The applicants are Dustin and Katie Zimmer, and they are here if you have any questions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Jerry, seconded by Paul. You folks have anything you'd like to say, or?
No, other than, it's a neighborhood bar.
You can come up here to the podium there.
Just wanted to say it is a neighborhood bar, and we plan on keeping it that way. Maybe just painting it inside a little bit.
Okay. Now, the business you're taking over, of course, is a very historic landmark in the Fourth Ward in the East End. It's been there for many years, and that business will always, the building will remain a landmark, but the present owner right now is not historic, so. But you don't plan no major changes or anything, and you know the rules?
Yes.
1 o'clock, people out, no minors,
Absolutely.
and control your outside, so, all right,
Mr. Mayor,
yes.
first off, on behalf of the city of Winona, we really want to thank you for all the research that you've done at that historic place over the years. And I don't know, Mr. Zimmer, is it
Zimmer.
Dustin?
Zimmer? I don't know Mr. Zimmer, but Katie Zimmer, I do know that has a tremendous amount of experience running that type of establishment in some pretty tough locations, and she'll do just fine. And as for Mr. Zimmer, his mother is well-known. She is the Alice Zimmer from Southeast Technical. So I'm sure that their math will be perfect. If you ever have any issues, I'm sure that she'll help you out with it. So we wish you the best of luck.
Same here, good luck, so. And you take over on the 20th?
I believe so, but it's either the 20th or the 21st, but
Okay. All right, anything else for them? Okay, there was a motion by Jerry and seconded by
Sure, who made
Pam.
it? I didn't make the motion.
Yeah, you did.
I did? Oh, okay, I made the motion.
Okay, all in favor of the transfer of the license signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, carried.
Item 3.3 is a license agreement for portable restrooms with Chemos.
Move the request.
Moved by
Second.
Paul, seconded by Jerry. Discussion. Al?
What is the cost to the city to have these in place? Does anyone know? Is there a monthly fee to place these facilities?
Mayor and council, so the city rents a few for certain park locations, but this agreement allows them to put it in right-of-way as hired by private property
sure.
owners for construction or parties or
Okay.
so forth.
So it's not really for, well, it is in certain circumstances,
Very
but
limited.
it's more of a right-of-way granting. Okay, thank you. Thanks for the clarification.
Anyone else? All right, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, carried.
Item 3.4 is a request for a premises permit for lawful gambling for the Rolling Stone Firefighters Relief Association to be used at the 500 Club.
I'd move to approve the resolution.
Moved by Pam,
I'll second it.
seconded by Jerry. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, carried.
Item 3.5 is the stop sign or stop intersection on High Forest at 5th Street.
I would move to introduce the attached ordinance.
Second.
Moved by Al, seconded by Paul. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Those opposed, carried.
Under new business, item 5.1 is to extend the cable TV franchise agreement with Charter for another 6-month term.
I would move to adopt the attached resolution.
Second.
Moved by Pam, seconded by Paul. You want to explain what's all going on here?
As council may recall, a year ago, we did renegotiate the cable franchise agreement with HBC, and we were hoping to finish with Charter within the first 6 months of 2016, but due to their merger with Comcast, they have been putting all their franchise renegotiations on hold, and they state that they are now ready to start looking into the renegotiations again. So hopefully this will be the last 6-month extension on that.
Okay, Al?
One quick question, is this a common practice in Minnesota for other communities that are served by this company? Or is it just
Correct,
Winona?
they
Okay,
have not
Across the board, then?
anywhere in the United States is my understanding.
okay. Good. Thank you.
Anyone else? All in favor? Those opposed? Carried.
Item 5.2 is to renew the Safe Ride agreement with Winona State and St. Mary's.
I would
move to approve the attached agreement.
I'll second it.
Moved by Pam, seconded by Jerry. And what do we need to know about this one?
Any questions?
Any questions at all for the Safe Ride Agreement? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the agreement?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Carried.
Item 5.3 is the 2017 Minnesota City Participation Program. And I would note, I did distribute an updated draft agreement with the state for this program.
Lucy, why don't you tell us what we're going to be doing here?
Tell you what, in the meantime, I will move to approve the attached resolution.
Second.
Moved by Jerry, seconded by Pam.
MCPP is a Minnesota housing program, and the city is able to apply for an allocation. The funds are accessed by mortgage lenders in our city. They don't come directly to the city. And first-time home buyers can have the advantage of a lower fixed rate with this program. Typically, we get $400,000 to $500,000 in allocation each year. It's a little bit more competitive this year in 2017. Again, the funds are accessed by the mortgage lenders, and our role is to market the program to the banks.
Yeah.
I noticed in our council agenda item, we were allocated approximately 480, and there were 5, I mean, I think it's a great program, by the way, but just clarification, there was committed 5 loans, accumulated a little over 507,000, so what's the difference between what we were allocated and what actually happened?
So some communities who do not utilize all their money, we can tap into those funds, and
Good.
Last year's an example of that.
Wonderful. Great program.
Yes.
Yes.
Very
Support the
good.
motion.
Anyone else? Okay, all in favor of the resolution?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Carried.
Item 5.4 is joining Excel's Partner in Energy program.
I would move to adopt the attached resolution.
Second.
Motion by Pam, seconded by Paul.
And Mr. Howard is here if you have questions.
Explain what we're doing here then. We'll give you some airtime.
Oh, that's great. Good evening. So Partners in Energy is a technical assistance program offered by Excel. This is, I think, going on to the 3rd year of the program. And what they do is they offer to help with energy planning and visioning for a community. And we were one of 15 communities that were selected to participate in this program. Basically the way it works is there's a 6-month planning process where key stakeholders, whether that, and that would probably be determined by the council who would be on that committee, who would count as the key stakeholders. They get together, they get meetings with Excel and their staff, facilitated by the Center for Energy and Environment, and the end result after 6 months is an energy action plan. And then in the following 18 months, Excel works with the community to implement that energy action plan. And there's quite a bit of freedom and flexibility as to what actually goes into that energy action plan. It's very much up to the community to decide exactly what we want to focus on, what our goals will be, and Excel is there to help us achieve those.
Questions? Pam?
So what are some likely actions, or what are some actions that have come out of this program by other communities in the past?
Well, a couple different ways. One is to help with developing suitability for renewable energy projects, understanding the permitting and processes for those. Another option is rebates and utility programs, better implementation of what Excel has. And then also there's just kind of general planning as to if the city wants to go down a road of setting a renewable energy target or renewable energy or any other sort of conservation goals. Excel's there to help us identify, potential opportunities.
Okay, so just kind of stepping up our game then.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good help from people who are, they know energy.
Yeah.
Thank you. How does this differ? A few years ago, we worked with a company called McKinstry, and they presented us with several energy efficiency options, which we have since implemented. How does this differ from that program? Besides, we're not, paying obviously for this, but that's one of the things.
Well, I think for the Excel program, it's really community-wide. So this is just more general ideas on what can be done to conserve energy, make better use of energy, and more visioning as to what we want the community to act upon.
So this is not specifically directed at city infrastructure, city buildings and things like that, like McKinstry was?
Not specifically. I mean, we can certainly, as part of the process, have a focus for city buildings, and a lot of the rebates and other things will be probably eligible, but it doesn't have to be. This is a broader than what McKinstry focused on.
Okay. And how does this perhaps move us forward toward the replacement of our current street lighting system with more energy efficient units?
It doesn't. We're on Excel's time, they've got a timetable established for all of their service areas, and when we get in the window, then they'll come and do it.
So this doesn't have any impact on that, whether we're a part of this or
It
not?
might accelerate a little bit if we can tie it back into their overall program, but I wouldn't expect that to be a driving force and factor in them making that decision.
Okay. All right, great, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. All those in favor of the attached resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, carried.
Item 7.1 is council concerns.
Let's begin with Al tonight.
Thank you, Council President. I would ask our manager to see if staff can put together a report for us on the benefits, and maybe this is through MnDOT, of the recent 61 and Gilmore Avenue project that has been completed as far as citizens' input, comments, the traffic accidents. I know that's probably more MnDOT than anything, but I'm hearing from people who are both positive and a little concerned about the changes that have happened out there, and I would appreciate it, and I think other members of council would too. Just a note that the Winona Friendship Center has just released a 2017 calendar. And I'm sorry I didn't bring my copy along, but it's very interesting. It's $7. It's available at the Friendship Center, and I think you'll see some well-known faces in that calendar for 2017. If you have a chance, check it out. It's really, really fun. And it was a project that raises money for their activity council. And I'm looking forward to hearing from Mayor Peterson and Council Person Alexander on their visit to our sister city. Have had a lot of good reports on Facebook, and I'm sure they will regale us with tales of sushi and all kinds of wonderful culture that they've experienced in our sister city of Masato. And I appreciate the fact that our Winona Senior High football team was here earlier tonight. I'm a graduate of Winona Senior High School, and proud to say that I was in the band rather than the football team, but I watched many games at Paul Giel Field over the years as a band member, and appreciate all of the effort that goes into creating these athletic events. So that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
What band instrument did you play?
I played the bass clef baritone.
Okay.
It's kind of like a small tuba, basically, is what it is.
Okay.
Had to ask.
Yeah, well.
Jerry.
Pass.
Paul?
Since my time left on the council is short, I wanted to put on the table an idea and an opportunity to provide the city with over 8 acres of developable land, which is yet to be added to the tax rolls, is available for workforce housing, and all of which is already within the corporate limits of the city. The land is currently untaxed but publicly owned, and all that is required is for the council to partner with the Winona Area Public Schools as they struggle with their facility excess and budget crisis. While the school board and public will ultimately make the decision on moving forward to solve their problems, the city is a very important part of this process. The future use of current elementary schools, campus properties, will fall on the city either by zoning limitations, their resale value. Also, future developments may need the city to assist in providing public financing to restore, replace, or convert those properties into the potential to maximize the potential taxable value between $12 and $20 million. It's important to note a new elementary school by Minnesota standards requires 10 to 15 acres plus 1 acre for each 100 students. Having said that, the footprint of an elementary school is less than 1 acre. The remaining acres are, for all practical purposes, park land for recreation. If the council would propose offering a school facility site at the corner of Mankato and Sarnia, the area of the old removed tennis courts, and if not transferable to another public entity, to lease it for 50 years, and to support a cooperative partnership of the parkland east of Hamilton for a public recreational playground, the additional park area could be necessary to meet the site requirements of the state. This option would be conditional on the transfer of the campus properties at Central, Jefferson, Madison, and WK elementary schools, which would be transferred to the city for this agreement. So I'm just saying is the door is open, and I think the school board would be receptive to sitting down and discussing it. I don't know the conditions, but I know that it's worthy of consideration. And from a few people that I've touched base with, they think it's an excellent location, particularly located in elementary school on the east.
Where was that location again, Paul?
On the corner of Mankato and Sarnia, right where the old tennis courts that we tore out.
Okay.
Right in that,
A
right
school,
where the courts
a
are.
school in that area there.
Right, but as I say, what's confusing to most people is the state requires huge acreage, which is all basically recreational land. But the footprint of a school is relatively small. And so it's the building itself is relatively small, everything else is playground. And so I don't see it as a conflict in terms of utilization of, or any destruction of Lake Park. It's simply the matter to be able to use that acreage to allow the state to see it happen. And it also could be to the benefit of the city from a standpoint of the school district could maintain that park, so it'd be one less acreage of the parkland that would have to be maintained. Could be formatted similar to the arrangement that we have with Winona State. And it's public, so it isn't going into the private sector. But what does happen is you've got roughly a city block, which is a little over 90,000 square feet. It's just a little over 2 acres on every one of those campuses that could be converted into housing. And if you do the layout on it, and depending on how many stories you would, it could generate $20 million in property taxable development on each of those old school properties, which helps the school district, helps the city, reduces taxes for everybody in Winona because it increases the base of which the process works. I mean, we levy in dollars and then you divide the total assessed value by that, and that comes up to the levy, and that's how it works. So it's a way to reduce everybody's taxes, put property that isn't parkland on the tax rolls, and it's going to happen one way or the other. But I think there's an excellent opportunity, and I think the school board would be receptive to discussions on it.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Pam?
Nothing from me.
Nothing this evening. I just have a couple of things. Any discussion yet as far as a leave back goes, or we talked at the last meeting, Pam and I brought up about.
Staff is reviewing it. Apparently, they had prepared something in previous years and submitted to the council, so I asked Keith to pull that report back out and talk to some other communities about what they're doing.
Okay, thank you. And also tonight, like I say, as we had a chance to acknowledge the Winona Senior High School football team, football appears to be strong here in southeast Minnesota with Caledonia, Rushford, Peterson, Grand Meadow, and I think they're all recipients and all participants in this Maury Miller Youth Program. So southeast Minnesota, is a very, very strong football bed. So, and also, if I want a Christmas present, I better say happy birthday to my granddaughter, Sydney Bannicky. That's all I have, so. City Clerk.
Under the consent agenda, there are 3 items. Approval of the minutes from November 21st, a claim against the city by Schwabel, Getz, and Sieben on behalf of Bonnie Barnholtz, and a claim against the city by Barbara Bambenek.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved by Al, seconded by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, carried. Is there a motion to adjourn?
There is.
Second.
Councilman Craig with the motion to adjourn, and Councilwoman Iden with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, carried. Thank you and good night.
I do have a few things for you to sign.
Okay.
Thank you much.